Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and this evening incredibly welcome guests. Have you ever started the evening with a thank you? And we had, I think, 6 thank yous for the evening, one of my pet hates as a grammarian. I always say that to avoid repetitive words is a virtue. And if you're not careful, you can spend a whole evening at this platform thanking everybody, whoever comes up here, and the speech makers, if they're not careful, be saying that. So please avoid that. Adiola, on the other hand, to her great credit, introduced everybody with lovely crescendo, so well done to her. Angela, on her main speech, I have nothing of a grammatical nature. Angela is grammatically perfect. Now, I must be careful. Is it Gagan or Gagan? I didn't want to be incorrect. That's fine. Gagan, you have a very interesting linguistic usage, and I want to be careful with this. Is English your mother tongue? What is your mother tongue?
It's Hindi and then Punjabi.
Hindi and Punjabi. Your English is so good, I wasn't sure whether or not it was your mother tongue. Therefore, I feel entitled to help you with it in a very small way and point out to you that it's a strange usage, and once I point it out to you, I'm sure you'll enjoy getting it right. You sometimes use singulars and plurals like this limitations. 2 brothers who was running. Most unusual. Now that you've heard it, I'm sure you'll always get it right, and you'll get it right on the YouTube. But lovely language. You've mastered English incredibly, better than I have. Coralie, always perfect. Everything to say. She talked about our erudite Alan, that was great. Our first use of the word erudite. Tony came up here. I have this point. Where is Tony? I have this point. Whenever Tony is speaking, he lets me do this. He has a personal way of speaking, which is lovely in conversation. He drops his G's up, like pulling teeth. He talks about pulling teeth. Now, I think that's lovely. That is his way of speaking. But when you're on a platform and you're speaking to all of us, I just think it would be nice just try and find that G. If it's there. I would love to hear it next time I hear you speak. Adam. Adam was the first person. Where's Adam? Yeah. Now, he and I were practicing the speeches in the educational section together. And I made the same point for him, so he won't mind my repeating. He was the first person this evening to use any ers, any hesitations at all. And that is not surprising, because it was the very first time he stood up and spoke in public. And he's now heard himself doing it. And I'm very certain when he does his life speaker, there won't be a single error on. He's already incredibly confident. And I look forward to helping you out with your ice cream. And Angela facing the music. Now, this is a very subtle use of the word erudite. She used it, I apologize if she hadn't used it. Well done. Then came Martin, who talked, most interestingly, about eruditeness. No, erudition, please. It's erudition. Martin then also honoured us with 3 ers, followed by, I think, followed by 2 ers, another, I think, another 2 ers. Wow, well done. That's an achievement. And I make fun of it purely to encourage you to become aware of it, because it will help you. And you will find that very helpful also with your icebreaker to concentrate. Use silences instead of you just wait and then find it. Alan came up and talked about, I love his use of the whole premise. Jill used the word erudite. Then she came to her educational. She talked about a lack of erudition. I love all the various uses. We've had tremendous amount of the word today. Unusually good use of it. Gloria's speech I missed because I was out of the room at the time, which is a bit of a shame. I'm sure it's all right. But you were wonderful applause. Michael, interestingly, the only actual grammatical mistake of the evening, for my wife and I. For is accusative, so it would be for my wife and me. Sorry, no.
Thank you.
David had a beautiful description of the word chagrin, but he used it in the French word chagrin. Most excellent. Oh, then we had Jill at the end of her educational saying thanks to everybody. And we had Adela coming up and saying thanks to Jill. Well. Evaluations, incredibly good, the evaluations tonight. There were 3 excellent evaluations. I wrote against Alan on Angela, I just wrote perfect. Against Colin on David, I wrote perfect. Peter, he didn't just use the word erudite, he stood up here and said, erudite is such an interesting word. Thank you for that, Peter.
So thank you.
Touche! He didn't use this wonderful word penultimate, and he left us with this beautiful picture of Jill in the bath.